Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Princessa and in this video I'm going to do a review of my Chanel Trendy CC. If you like luxury unboxing and reviews, then please give this video a thumbs up, and if you want to see more of my videos, then just click the subscribe button below, hit the notification bell right next to it so that you can be notified of my new uploads. Before I get started with the review, I want to share a bit of background behind my decision-making process in choosing this particular bag from Chanel, because as you can see from the title, this is my first luxury handbag. I also want to share a bit of my shopping experience as well as my Chanel after-sales repair experience. Yes, I know. So if you want to hear more about it, then just stay tuned. Otherwise, I'll leave a timestamp in the description box below so you can jump into my review, and then I'll wrap it up with my final thoughts about what you should consider if you're thinking about getting this bag. And without further ado, let's get started. So a bit of story time. The first time I've seen this style was actually through Lorna Lux's Instagram page around December 2019, when she just did a luxury giveaway of this bag. I was just looking through the pictures. I really liked the style. I loved the way it looked on people. And by the way, at that time, I wasn't really into Chanel bags. So actually, I think this was the first bag that really caught my eye, and I knew I wanted it to be my first Chanel bag. And you might be thinking what drove me to choose this over the classic flap bag, and all I had to do was ask myself the question: if I got the classic flap and not the Chanel Trendy CC, would I be happy with it? And for me, the answer was, I think I would still want the Chanel Trendy CC. And then I did the reverse question: if I got a Chanel Trendy CC, would I still want a classic flap? And for me, the answer was no. If I got this, I would be happy with it being my only Chanel bag. And that's why I went ahead with the Chanel Trendy CC. In January 2020, I decided to go to the Chanel boutique store. That was my first time entering any Chanel boutiques in my life, and I just asked the SA there if they had a Chanel Trendy CC in stock, just so I could have a look, assess if I like the bag or not. Luckily, they have this one in stock, so I tried it on and fell in love with it even more. I decided to keep the contact card of the SA. About a month later, I decided to text her and tell her that I want to get this bag. So I asked her if she could reserve this for me, and she was able to do so. And at that point, I didn't have to prepay in advance. She just reserved the bag for me to pick it up and pay in person. On the day, she was in another meeting apparently, so one of her colleagues was there to assist me instead. Going to the store, I was very excited, could not wait, and I just wanted to get this handbag home with me as soon as possible. When I went into the boutique to finally pick this up and pay for this, all I could think of was getting this bag home. I had a look at it very quickly. It's fine, let me pay for it, go home, and that's it. It wasn't until I got home that I had the time to properly inspect the bag more thoroughly. Unfortunately, I saw a bit of popped stitches, I think on the back pocket and on the front. It wasn't anything major, but it just had a bit of a pop stitch sticking out of the bag. And as you can see, it's a quilted style, so it's easy to look from the side if any stitches are not done properly. I wasn't really too worried. I wasn't aware of the quality issues that Chanel is having. For me, I thought it's an expensive bag, so you'd expect it to come in as pristine condition. But anyways, so apart from the pop stitches, there was also like some manufacturing glue that got stuck on the back of the bag, which I couldn't buff out myself, just carefully of course, but I still couldn't get it out. I didn't really have any use for the bag at the time, so I just left it. And then lockdown happened, so there was no reason really for me to hurry into getting the bag fixed. It was not until the non-essential shops started to reopen that I started to think again, should I go and get this bag fixed? I contacted my SA again. I sent her a couple of pictures on WhatsApp with the damages that I could see in the bag. Fortunately, she said, okay, I'll arrange an appointment for you at the Chanel flagship store in Paris. Just bring the bag and it will be free of charge. For me, that was really good. So I went and brought this bag with me, brought the whole box with me and the receipt. The SA there gave me this receipt, and it just basically says the repair that they're going to do. And for this one, it was basically to fix the stitches, and that would be it. So I gave the bag to the SA, and she didn't need the original box, which was this. I was like, okay, what is the lead time to get back to me? And apparently it usually takes 6 weeks, but because of COVID, it could take around 8 to 10 weeks. And at that point, I really had second thoughts whether I wanted to leave this bag. And I was just a bit reluctant, but I thought to myself, okay, it's free. I don't know if that should be given or not. I guess I could wait if this meant that it would kind of relieve me of the worry that there's quality issues in my first bag. So I gave this in, took home this piece of paper with a receipt, and just waited. To my surprise, it actually only took them exactly a week to get back to me. I received an email on my phone and they said that it's ready for collection. So on the same day, I rushed to the Chanel boutique and went and picked this up. Of course, I learned from my mistake. So I checked the bag thoroughly through the stitches and the back, and I actually noticed that the manufacturing glue, which I mentioned earlier, that I couldn't buff out myself, was removed. So thank goodness it was better than the first time. For that, I felt relieved and I felt happy going back home. That was it in terms of my story about the Chanel repair experience. Let me know in the comment section below if you've ever had to take your Chanel bag in for a repair, what kind of repair you had to do, and was it free or how much did you pay for it basically? Because I'm curious to know if mine was just free because my SA was nice, or if it's usually the case that it should be free if it came in damaged when you first received the bag anyway. And of course, I couldn't exchange the bag because it's been a couple of months since I got the bag, so it was not within the return policy or exchange policy, I think, for me to get the bag exchanged. The quick fix for me was to get it repaired free of charge. So that's my moral of the story. That's my tip to you. Check the details if the quality is good and if you're happy with it, and don't let excitement blind you of the defects, okay? So on to the review of the Chanel Trendy CC. As you can see, here it is, very beautiful. This is the small size, and it actually comes in 3 sizes. This is a small, it comes in medium, it comes in large, of course with different prices. And I am not sure what the price gaps are, but this is in the small quilt style. It also comes in chevron, which is like a line, V going down. And I believe I've seen some pictures where it also came in larger quilts. As most of you may have already seen in other videos, that the Chanel Trendy CC only comes in lambskin leather, which means it's more delicate than the caviar leather. It is a seasonal item, so Chanel brings it back from time to time, and when they do, sometimes to introduce new colors. So just check out the Chanel website directly so you can see the latest colors that they are offering for this piece. And I've chosen the color in black because I actually don't have any black bags yet. The hardware of the bag is in champagne gold, so it's not yellow gold, it's not too flashy, it's kind of subtle. And what really sold me on the bag is, if I just tip this over so you could see the bird's eye view, it has the Chanel nameplate on top. For me, I really like that feature when I first saw the bag. It has a sturdy top handle, which you can see here, and it has a strap which you can pull out, you can pull in, depending on how you want to use the bag. On the back, you have the Mona Lisa back pocket, which I think you can see most of the other Chanel bags, like the classic flap, Coco handle, and I guess many other bags of Chanel. It's quite tight, so I don't really put anything in there, just so that I don't stretch the leather too much. But there it is. And now if you turn the bag sideways, you can see that it has like an accordion-like shape. which is basically the compartments of the bag. Now when you turn to the front, you can see that it has the CC turn lock, again, which you can see in most of the other Chanel bags. And you have this turn lock here so that you can open and close the flap bag. One key style about the CC turn lock of the Chanel Trendy CC is that rather than having the gold stamping, which you would normally find in very vintage classic flap bags, this one instead has a protruded stamp on the top left, and it says Chanel Paris. So now let's open the bag. When you open it, you'll see that there are 3 compartments, all with leather lining. The front compartment has 2 smaller pockets, which I usually use for my keys, and it has a lipstick holder in the middle. In the middle, which I would say is the biggest compartment out of the 3, there are no inner pockets, so you could pretty much put anything that you like here. And on the last compartment, which I would say is the tightest one, I usually use it for any receipts or passport, and it also has a zippered section for that extra security. On to my personal pros and cons. The first pro that I would give this bag is the versatility in terms of the number of ways you can style this. You can wear it as a top handle, or as a crossbody, or as a shoulder bag with the strap that comes along with it. Be careful when you're using this bag as a top handle. Make sure that you tuck away the straps inside very carefully, especially if you have a lot of things inside, so that the ends of the straps don't leave a dent on the leather lining inside the bag. The second pro for me is that you can really dress up or down with the style of this. You can wear it to formal events, or you could also just put on a t-shirt, jeans, and you would still totally rock the look of this. Not to mention, one of the iconic features of the Chanel Trendy CC is the nameplate, which is just really aesthetically nice. The third pro for me, as I was showing you earlier, is the compartment. And for me, I personally like to have my things very organized as much as possible. So it's very easy that with the 3 compartments, I can separate my daily essentials like hand jewel, wallet, or keys, for example. I can just put it separate from my more important documents like passports or ID, which I don't use a lot of the time. The first con is that it only comes in lambskin leather, which means it's very prone to creases. In fact, I have noticed that for my bag, the bottom, especially on the back, is starting to crease quite easily, and I guess it's just a characteristic of the bag itself. The second con is linked to the fact that it's a lambskin leather, which means that it's very prone to scratches. There are some light scratches which you can just buff out yourself, but the deeper scratches you cannot really get rid of, and they are there to stay. Also, if you are using this bag as a top handle, you have to make sure that your hands don't have a lot of bracelets, so that when you put your hand inside the bag, any bracelet will not clash against the nameplate. I've actually recently purchased a customized protector for the Chanel Trendy CC nameplate, and I bought it from Havre de Luxe, which was previously called the Handbag Haven. So I'll be doing a review of that very soon, and make sure to subscribe so that you can be notified whenever I upload that video. So now that I've had this bag for a couple of months, I want to share with you my 5 top storage tips. Number 1, if you're not using the bag, then just empty it. And the reason I say that is because if you leave stuff inside, especially if they're heavy, you are likely to contribute to the creasing of the bottom of the bag. Tip number 2, and this is optional if you have one already, but I personally use a bag hanger, which I've purchased from Amazon a couple of months ago, and I store away my bag with this, and I just put it in my closet, of course leaving enough space so that I don't have to worry about the bottom of the bag creasing. Tip number 3, use the felt tip protector, which originally comes with the bag when you purchase it, and just make sure that you put it onto the closure so that it protects the flap when you close it like this, to avoid the CC stitches underneath the flap from leaving stitch marks on the leather lining of the quilt. My 4th tip is do not fully close the flap when you're storing it away. And that's because you want the quilts underneath to breathe and to not deflate. My fifth and final storage tip is for you to invest in a good bag organizer so that you can protect and preserve the shape of the bag when you're not using it, as well as when you're using it. A bag organizer will also leave you less worried when it comes to spills or markings on the leather lining. Overall, if you are looking for a versatile handbag, one where you can use as a strap body, as a shoulder bag, or as a top handle, then I would definitely recommend the Chanel Trendy CC. But one thing that you should consider for sure is the fact that it only comes in lambskin leather, because as I've mentioned earlier, it's prone to scratches and creases. So if you're not bothered by that, then for sure I would 100% recommend this bag. Would I buy it again? I would say 100% yes, and maybe in another color. I love the fact that I have it in black already, but it would be nice to build a collection on this in different colors too. I just really think that this bag is stylish and it's classic, and maybe it will become a classic, but for sure I would recommend this bag. So that is it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed my review, and I hope you enjoyed hearing about my shopping and after sales repair service experience. And I do hope that you found the 5 storage tips useful for the Chanel Trendy CC. If you like this video, please do remember to give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe. Until then, see you next time. Bye!